Good evening, everyone. This is Suburban Prepper. How are you doing? Today's our 4 o'clock weekend Saturday update / live stream. Hope everybody's doing excellent. I was working in my prepper's garden this morning and decided I needed to check on some wood that I use for smoking. I haven't checked on it. It's been sealed up. And I discovered as I open up the tarp, and I was going to replace the tarp, I have a beehive. And of course, I had an allergic reaction to bees before. So we're going to get a guy that can relocate the bees to come out and take them away. If they're aggressive bees, if they're not pollinators, that's one thing. But if they're attack bees or something, that's different. I want the pollinators to live, of course. So I also realized I also have, if I had to, concentrated vinegar and spray it. And that'll take out the bees. I've got all my gardens transplanted. Everything that I'm going to transplant, I transplanted. And they all sit in a space. Finished doing that this morning. I was pretty excited about that. Yeah, yesterday, I went to the gun range after a while, after a long time, and I shot my 300 Win Mag. And I'm telling you, it was a heavenly experience. I really enjoyed it. I made a video. I spent 5 hours at the range, and I compressed it into about an 11 or 12-minute video. And that's just the way it is. So, a couple things I want to go over today. Anybody that's watching, here's the thing. I've been doing some thinking about this, and now I took some action. Basically, I have a prepper channel, okay, where I talk about prepper shit, right? Everybody knows that. Everything related to prepping. Then I have medical, primary medical and integrative medical, and I do primary medical videos about that. Then I talk about gardening. And I make gardening videos. And then on my channel, I also, because I am a disgruntled combat veteran, from time to time, I like to write poetry and put it to video. And of course, if you know me, you know that I have a freeze dryer. And I love making freeze dry videos. But the problem is they're not all prepper related. So what am I going to do? Creating 4 new channels. One's going to be medical prepper. The other one's going to be Suburban Prepper Garden. The next one's going to be disgruntled combat veteran. And of course, freeze drying guru. And what I hope to do is when I do my live streams, like I do here, I can get them all at the same time on without having to do each channel individually. Because like right now, I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I have a Facebook page, I have my Facebook channel, and I have my YouTube channel. But I think I'm going to focus on all these 5 channels that I have right now to do my live streams. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've already created the channels and I'm working on them. And I'm going to redistribute the respective videos for each thing. Because there's not that many preppers who are into touchy-feely combat medic poetry, as it were, okay? And there's some gardeners that could give 2 shits left about gun shooting. And that's just the way it is. And there's some adamant dehydrators, okay, that think that getting a freeze dryer is a complete waste of money and they won't watch the channel. So if I split it up 5 ways, and that's basically what my prepper channel is all about, these 5 different things, I can focus my prepping channel on what I consider to be true prepping adventures. Like yesterday, or the day before, a couple days ago, we went to the beach, hot as hell, got short of breath. But I made a video using my sun cooker, and I made a video on how to filter out lake water. I mean, it wasn't rocket science, but just to actually do it was pretty cool. And that's all prepper related content. The gardening is gardening content. So I'm going to have links to each of my channels on my, they're going to talk to each other basically. So it won't be a problem finding wherever else you can go. But that's how I'm going to do that. I've seen other channels break off when, because I can't get focus on one channel. One channel has to have a specific niche to really get viewership and get monetized and grow. If you have too many, there's too many channels, there are too many different topics I like to cover. And these are the topics I like to cover. Every time I do a freeze dry, every time I go out shooting, I take video footage. I love doing medical videos. And I love doing my prepper videos. And of course, I like to do combat, veteran, military related stuff. And of course, there's also the politics of prepping. And that's going to stay with my prepping channel. And then there's the politics of military. That's going to go with my disgruntled combat veteran channel. So there's a distinction between the two. How's everybody doing today? So I've had this week off, and I did a lot of work in my garden. Got everything transplanted about time. Only again to discover a swarm of bees. And I think they're wood bees. I don't think they're pollinators, but that's why I'm going to pay a guy $300 to go figure it out. So I'm sort of staying out of my prepper's backyard today. Too much. But yeah, yesterday I had a couple of malfunctions, which is my own fault because I put too much oil in the rifle. Of course, it was my first time shooting it, so I wanted to make sure everything was lubed up. And it was. But that LR300 is a bear. It's a one rigid son of a bitch rifle. I am very, very impressed with it. And I was reluctant at first because it's an off-name brand, Bear Creek Arsenal. But yeah, they really. Now I'm not as skeptical as buying a. I wanted to get a bolt action 308 that you can just attach to an AR-10 lower, and it would take the same magazines I already have with my AR-15 or my LR-308, I should say. I have the spare lower already, so I might go ahead and get one of those. Sorry, I'm thirsty. It's been a long day. So if you're watching the Suburban Prepper channel, my focus is going to be all on prepping stuff, or I can give it its due focus. Now, I get inspiration to do medical videos, and of course, those medical videos will be on my medical channel. And it's going to take a couple weeks to get all this worked out because it's just me doing it. But once I do, everything will be smooth sailing. And that way the channels can talk to each other. And that's my update. I think I'm going to apply my first round of liquid fertilizers from CalMag, calcium, magnesium, to my plants, give them a little nutritional boost. I got some garden nutritional food, and I'm going to add a little bit of chicken manure on top first, because in the composting, I'm composting the weeds, everything that I can in my composter, and I just break it up. And I have never been really much of a tool man, okay? But this angle grinder that I have, it has saved me so much work. I need to do a video on the angle grinder because it has so many applications. I didn't know. And really, if you wanted to be cheap about it, you can put you have a nice drill. You can turn your drill into an angle grinder and cut things. I didn't know that, but I like the angle of it better. I guess that's why they call it an angle grinder versus the way you hold a drill. I was sharpening my hoe to, I like sharp hoes, okay? And it was getting it nice and bladey and sharp because I used the hoe to cut, tear up the stuff in the compost bin. Yeah. Go back to work this week, and it's a 4-day week because Friday's a holiday, of course, 4th of July. Pretty excited. And I'm refreshed. The first time I've been on a vacation in years. Yeah, it's been years. It's been in the 90s all week. But luckily, we've had plenty of rain. So my garden's not dry by any means. And of course, I can still water it. But I'm learning I'm not going to overwater it like I did last year. I sometimes overwater. There was one raised bed that I overwatered and it got a little moldy. And well, this year, I'm not watering it as much. And I knew it was getting a little moldy because fungus would grow on the soil. That's not a bad thing, but there's just too much moisture. Everything else is growing just fine. Even the weeds, I still got to pick the weeds, but they're getting less and less as I pull them out. Yeah, so that's about it for today. I think every time I go out shooting, I'm just going to bring one rifle, okay? One rifle, focus on that one rifle and do a video about it. Because I've got tons of rifles. And I need to focus just on one rifle at a time and get that one zeroed and get it to shoot long range and so forth. Like yesterday, I focused on yesterday, I don't know, time goes by when you're a time traveler so fast or so slow. I focused on my LR 300. I shot it in the standing position. I shot it with my tripod. I shot it on the bench. And when I take out my AR-15s, I want to shoot them in the prone position. I got to figure out how to do that because we'll see. We'll figure it out. This one state gun range that I go to, the targets aren't too low to the ground. And I don't want to cause a ruckus, but at the same time, I want to be able to shoot in the sitting position, in the kneeling position, and in the prone position. So there's that. Not doing a medical video this week. I haven't drawn any inspiration. I've been pretty busy working on the garden. I set up my prepper's tent, and then I did a live the other day after we came back from the beach, and it rained and poured. And then my tent, the prepper, the greenhouse, tipped over, yanked one of the aluminum steel, the frame of the tent. So I couldn't fold it up. That's where I got my grinder, angle grinder, and I just grinded out that part so the thing would fold up. And then put it away. Problem is, it got so drenched so quickly that the pieces that hold it in the ground got loose, so the wind took hold of it and just knocked it over. Luckily, none of my plants were injured because I had them fenced off with the chicken wire. And so I have to rethink this weekly giveaway because nobody's responding to any of my videos. So I'm going to rethink that a little bit. No one responds to my videos on my YouTube channel after my live stream. Okay, well, again, that's not, that's my fault. I'm focusing too many things in one channel, and then people don't like all the other stuff, so they don't focus on one thing. Someone that likes combat veteran stuff is one thing. Medical people like medical stuff. They could care less about guns most of the time, and prepper stuff. So that's where I'm going to be at. Okay. We're going to cut this one short today. We'll talk to you later.